Welcome to Military Spouse World 1-to-1, a weekday podcast featuring a military family shaker and mover, helping you navigate this amazing chapter in life. Here's your host, Dave Etter.
On today's episode of Spouse World 1-to-1, we meet with Erica McMannes. She is the co-founder of MadSkills, and in this episode, we find out everything you've always wanted to know about MadSkills. Hello, Erica. It is a pleasure to get you onto the show.
Thanks, Dave. I'm excited to be here today.
You are the founder, or is it the co-founder of MadSkills?
Co-founder. I founded it with another active duty Army spouse, Liza Rodewald.
I got to get her on the show one of these days, too. We're just going to have to twist her arms. You're more of the spokesperson, and Liza's like more in the background, taking care of admin, etc. Or do I have all that dynamic wrong?
As the two of us, we just fill in and do what we need to do from time to time. So, there's points where Liza's out there talking to people more actively. There's times where I step up and do that. So I'm a little bit more of the community front and kind of the relationship building side of the story for sure. Liza thrives in the tech space and operations, and so that's where she kind of thrives and focuses.
Cool. So what is MadSkills?
Yeah, so MadSkills, we're actually hitting our 1-year birthday in September, this September.
Wow.
Yeah, it's exciting. So it's been 1 year since we launched our spouse portal. And what we do is we work with businesses and companies to source remote work opportunities for the military spouse community. Kind of try to be that one-stop shop, the acceleration of where are remote opportunities for the spouse community. We're working with the companies that can bring them.
Wow. And there's no geographical boundaries for these jobs when they are home-based, correct?
Correct. And that's the name of the game for the military spouse community is a global community. And so that's, with the challenges with spouse employment, which is not a new conversation, that's been really in focus for probably the past 10 years, and lots of great organizations and support systems for that. But I just really saw that opportunity to have something completely solely focused on remote work where I, as a spouse, if I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I wonder what remote jobs are out there. It's like that one place that I can go.
I love seeing those messages come through that say, here are some job opportunities that need to get filled now.
Yep.
It just amazes me how the company names that pop up. It's how did you accomplish the popularity amongst the corporate worlds and the home-based business model?
You mean as far as like getting MadSkills out there and known?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so really it's been, like I said, we just hit a year, so it's actually been a very fast-paced and very exciting year, and there's kind of two sides to that story. We're almost kind of supply and demand. We have this amazing military spouse community that's built up at MadSkills that we're trying to place into jobs, but we also have to have clients to fill those jobs and then spouses to work with the clients. So we definitely have this two-sided story going on constantly. And the one side of that is the spouse community, man. They have just supported us and cheered us on literally from day one, like last year about this time when we made our first announcement. Since then, a lot of it to date has been organic, referrals from clients that we've worked with, getting on, podcasts run by the community and just kind of getting our name out there and the concept rolling. There's a lot of work to do. I mean, obviously we have big goals, and hopefully as we round into year 2 and 3 that steam will continue. But it's really been organic. Like we haven't put any money into, big, huge advertising campaigns yet. And that just goes to show the strength of the community.
What kind of jobs did you start out with? What were the first few jobs that were offered through MadSkills?
Yeah, so last October is when we opened the employer portal. So that was when we had a go live on the site where employers could post. And the very first position, I think within about 3 weeks, was a nights and weekends, really cool kind of help desk customer service job for a internet marketing agency. And that spouse is still with them, so almost her 1 year.
Wow.
What surprised me most was the pay. I think spouses, we often get desperate and we're like, I'll just take the job. I don't care if it's $9 an hour, right? We want to change that conversation. Spouses have skill sets. They have education. We don't need to shortchange ourselves. So when this job came up, the girl actually wrote me and she was like, is this pay for real? For real? I get to do this from home around my kid's schedule. So that's one of our favorite success stories, the first one from almost a year ago.
Wow. But we need to get her on the show here and let her talk about her success. I don't want to ask her name because I don't want to embarrass her yet. She may not want to come on the show, so we will not mention her name, but those in the know probably know who she is.
I'll get you the hookup for sure.
What kind of jobs now are the prevalent jobs on MadSkills available?
We get that question a lot. I really can't narrow it down to one specifically. The scope, because we've opened it up to the scope of the military spouse community, that's a very large community, and those skill sets are really, really wide. So what we've done is clients come to us and say, hey, I have these types of opportunities. We're like, all right, let's find you the spouses that can match that. But the cool thing that happens is, even if we haven't really attracted like that type of industry or talent, as soon as we post a new position, talk about it on a Facebook Live, we organically attract this whole new group of people who do have that skill set,
right,
and they can kind of continue to build that up. So everything right now, from a lot of content creation, a lot of writing. Spouses are great bloggers, right? So they've got that writing down, and it's been neat to see some of them able to take that into more technical writing or copywriting for industries that are looking for that.
Right.
Graphic design, customer service. We're talking with some kind of, we say, clients in courting, right? There's no contract signed, but we're just kind of having conversations everywhere from architecture to data research. I mean, just all kinds of cool things. As long as that kind of continues to happen and we can make those matches continue to happen, we'll kind of be able to respond to those as they come to us.
What prompted you to come up with the name MadSkills?
I worked for 5 years, so from about 2011 to this past May, actually, for a veteran startup out in Silicon Valley. Learned a lot about the space. I actually am a child development specialist by quote-unquote education, so knew nothing about startups, nothing about Silicon Valley, nothing about business, but for 5 years I was kind of immersed in that and took those lessons learned, was able to take some side consultant jobs and charge clients retainers, and I built teams of spouses for some companies that were looking to take products to market. For one guy that I built a team for, he said, spouses have mad skills and more should know about you. And I thought, that's it. I was like, I can do something with that. Let me think on that. So like 3 months later, I wrote Liza a message, and Liza and I had just really been acquaintances to that point.
Yeah.
We weren't best friends. We weren't business partners. And I was like, but knowing her skill set and her business savvy, I was like, I have this crazy idea. Like, will you just listen to me, like throw it at you for a few minutes? And she was like, nope, let's do it. Let's figure out what it's going to look like, what we're going to do. And like the next day we were on it.
Yeah.
That one quote from one guy kind of sparked that idea.
Sounds like me and Susan with spouse spouts.
Yep.
What if somebody wants to check you out? How do they find out about MadSkills? How do they become a part of this phenomenon?
Cool. So we have a website, and it's hiremadskills.com, and it's hire, HIRE, MadSkills, and skills with an S and not a Z. We get that question a lot. There is a rapper, MadSkills with a Z, and we get tagged as him often on Facebook posts. So yeah, hiremadskills with an S at the end.com. Another great way to connect in is we have a really fun, engaged Facebook community. We do live masterclasses. We do live client calls, sharing the new opportunities for our clients as they onboard and are looking for spouses. Spouses can create a free profile on the site. That's how we connect them to the job opportunities, and then just kind of to be a part of the community and interact on our Facebook page.
Okay, so now if you're a business and you want to contact MadSkills, how do they go about it?
The site, hiremadskills.com. Right on the front page, we have post a job or learn more or find a job. So that's directly based out to the clients and then out to the spouses. So contact through the website on both sides.
So how do you make sure the job that's being posted isn't something like a Bernie Madoff's pyramid scheme or something like that? How do you guys do any checking?
Yes, we do. We have built into the site is nothing posts automatically. There's a pending process that happens. So if somebody comes and posts a position, we get a notification and then do a little bit of a vetting process before we post that live on the site. You know, we're very aware of scams that are happening out there. Obviously, the military community is always wide open to that kind of thing.
Always, yeah.
And then job hiring sites are often hit for that type of thing. So we do have those safety checks, and the spouse community is great. A client scheduled an interview and for some reason it's a no-show. A spouse is not going to hesitate to be like, hey, this person kind of stood me up. What's going on? So that helps us, you know, to continue relationships or continue to create those boundaries to protect our brand, but also the spouse community.
A business needs to watch their P's and Q's in order to, well, quite possibly stay in business.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game. Spouses, we don't have time to mess around, right?
No, we don't. And the neat part about working from home and the fact that that's what you primarily deal with is the stay-at-home jobs. When it becomes PCS time, hey, that's as far as the job goes, I'm taking vacation.
Right. And that's part of the cool conversation that we can have with our clients is to kind of be that advocate in that way as well, right? It's not just somebody coming and saying, you know, I want to hire all these people and whatever. It's, right, this is the type of community you're hiring. This there's a transferability that we're, advocating for. There's consistency, there's the flexibility. And so we can really be upfront with that as the company that we are.
Is there a way in which people can get a hold of you directly in person should they need to?
Yes. I love emails. My email is Erica, and that's ERICA @highermadskills.com. And I don't have a virtual assistant. I do all of the emails myself, at least to this point. So happy to chat with anybody.
Wow. You may be hiring somebody to take over that after this. Who knows? Because you're going to get some range out of this one. This is hopefully will go viral.
Let's do it. I'm excited. But if I have to hire somebody, then that's what I'll do.
There you go. And who knows? When I get back to the States, I may look you up, see if I can't get a job there.
We love the male spouse community. We've had male spouses reach out and say, hey, can I be a part of this? I'm like, you're a spouse. And, we've been careful with our branding, especially on Facebook, to include just visually males. It's the spouse community. It's not a female community. And so you always want to be sure that the guys and the spouses out there know that.
I'll probably be looking a little bit closer because that time's coming in the not too near future. Erica, it has been a pleasure having you on Spouse World 1-to-1. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to sit down and chat with me.
Thank you, Dave. I am excited to be here, excited to share what we're doing, and excited for what you're doing with the podcast.
Outstanding. Thank you. And happy birthday to MadSkills.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you. Do you like Spouse World 1-to-1? Want to support the efforts to bring interesting and inspiring military spouses into the spotlight? Then go to patreon.com/spouseworld and become a patron. It's a great way to spread the love.
Military Spouse World 1-to-1 is a BDE Productions podcast. The views and opinions of the host or any of the guests are not that of BDE Productions or sponsors. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to Spouse World 1-to-1.